geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather and I am glad you're here. If this is your first time here, then welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the running content I have coming out all the time. If this is not your first time here, welcome back to the Geek Den. I am so glad that you are back. Today we are going to take a look back at what has happened over the past month. That's right, it is time for another monthly update. The monthly update is where I take a look back at what has happened in training, any new medals or races that I have done, any new gear or equipment that I have tried out, and then a look ahead at what is going to be coming up on the channel in addition to the monthly playlist drop. So let's get things started. We always start things off here with training. I'm going to give you just a little update week by week of how things have gone, and here we go. Hello everybody, and we are a week into the month of October. I took things super duper easy over the last week. Just, getting some nice easy runs in, some nice comfortable speed work, kind of feeling good about how I'm able to handle speed work now. I'll just kind of wrap my brain around it and everything, where I've hated it before, but it's kind of becoming routine now. And I'm not going to say I love it, but I am getting used to having more speed work as part of my repertoire. So in lieu of a long run, I just decided to hit the trails with no particular plan or pace or distance in mind. I just went out there and ran, and it's definitely what I needed. I feel mentally as though I've taken on as much as I can handle this month, which, everybody has a different amount that they can mentally handle. Some more than others, but I just feel like I'm trying to mentally exhaust myself. I may be stretching my brain a little too thin, but I'm trying to keep up with things as best I can. I have started another training plan in order to brush everything up and be ready for a half marathon next month. So that's the plan, with probably going on about an hour and a half long run this weekend, and we'll see how things shake down. See you in a week. All right, we're back for another week. The rain has finally come. It's been raining for most of the weekend, so the temperatures have definitely dropped a whole lot more. They're going to go back up a little bit next weekend, but for now they have dropped, and it definitely feels a lot more like autumn. So in the last week, managed to get every single one of my runs in. I did a nice long run. I had to pretty much Friday is kind of becoming my long run day, just because I can get that done while everybody is in work and school and everything, so I'm not interrupted in any way. So I managed to get all of that done, and it was just a nice hour and a half run, which I just kind of took at a little bit below race pace, and still felt strong by the end of it. So right now I'm just kind of trying to focus all of my efforts on being half marathon ready, and so that it felt pretty good. And so I'm feeling positive at the way things are going. I need to focus a little more on strength training, so I'm going to try and get that in this week, or rather, I will get it in this week. I will find a way to make this happen. So that's where I am right now. Still can't quite dial in the nutrition. I don't know what my problem is, but I'm going to focus a lot more on that as well. And I think my supplements are kind of helping stabilize everything, so that's been super helpful. But I am just headed for kind of more of the same this next week, just getting some time in on feet, getting some speed drills in for a day, and a nice easy long run just below race pace on the weekend. So that's where I'm headed. I will check in with you next week. So here we are in the last full week of the month, and over the weekend I didn't get to get too much of a long run in. I did get a long run of some sort in on Friday. My kids were out of school that day, and then I was camping all weekend, but I did manage to get a hike in, so I kept things moving. Came home on Sunday and got a short run in. So I'm still trying to stay consistent and everything, but we did have a snap of warm weather again, so things were back up in the mid 80s. Finally, we have gotten some rain, which we desperately needed, and so the temperatures are starting to back off a little, which means it's getting a little easier to run outside. So all last week, just managed to stay consistent, managed to get at least a little bit of strength training in, and some is better than none. And now for this week, just kind of more of the same, some nice easy runs, some speed sessions, going to make my long run just a smidge longer, and just try to keep up with at least some sort of strength training. It's going to be interesting. I have a couple of kids that are sick with colds, so I'm trying to deal with all of that, as well as all of my regular weekly duties. So it's a mess. I'm trying to balance, but I'm going to get it in somehow. So I will check back in with you at the very end of the month. And here we are. It is the end of the month. This past week went really well. Kind of stepped up a little bit on distance and pushed a little bit more on speed. Long run felt great. We had a ton of really needed rain all this weekend, but I managed to get my long run in on Friday before all of the stormy weather set in. And I think I've definitely locked in on run walk ratio and pace for half marathon, so feeling really good about that, so I can spend the next week or so focusing on making sure that I have the distance locked in as well. So pretty happy with it. I am definitely going to step up some of my strength training over the next month, but feeling very positive in the direction that things are going. I'm definitely hoping that I will be ready for half marathon on the 20th. All right, let's take it back inside. And we are back inside. So there you go. That's just a look at how training has gone over the past month. Just to kind of recap really quickly, it's just been slow and steady with a little bit more focus on the half marathon distance. Now, I have been trying to use my long runs to perfect my run walk ratio and kind of lock into what is going to be a comfortable pace for 13.1 miles. And so I think that I have pretty much got that locked in. And so from here on out, I can start extending my long runs to be just a little bit longer in order to cover what is closer to that half marathon distance. So now that I've kind of got the fundamentals set in, then I am going to start focusing a little bit more on making sure that I have the distance well under control, which I'm pretty sure I do, but I just want to make sure. As far as my strength training and mobility, it still is not up to where I would like it to be. I am getting just a little bit in when I can, but I would like to make this kind of a more regular thing. And so that's what I'm going to try to focus on. And I know I keep saying that I want to focus more on that. And I am adding just a little bit more every single month. And I really believe that I can do better. And so that's kind of going to be my focus really for the rest of the year. I'm not going to wait and make it a New Year's resolution. I'm just going to start now, because why wait? So just as a reminder, I do have some races coming up next month. I have the Route 66 half marathon coming up in Tulsa. And a couple of weeks later, I have the St. Jude half marathon coming up in Memphis. So make sure that you are staying tuned to the channel so that you can get caught up on all of those race reports. Next, let's move on to races and medals. No IRL races this month. However, I did finish something that I have been working on for the entire year, and you may have noticed the shirt. I have done my 2,022 miles in 2022. And I always get this early and hang it in the back of my closet. I don't allow myself to wear the medal or the shirt until I have completed all of those miles for the year. Typically, I would be done with this in early September. I'm not getting quite as many miles in this year as I normally do. I normally do a big push with a virtual race in May where I do 15 miles a day for a week. And I didn't do that this year. year, and so I was behind on miles where I would normally be. But I did manage to get all 2022 miles in, and because of that, I was able to earn this medal. You may have seen this in the unboxing video that I did for it, but here you go. This is from Run the Edge. It's their Run the Year challenge. They also have other challenges like streaker challenges. They have Hug a Runner. They have the marathon, running across America. But this is the one that I do every year, and that is the Run the Year challenge. So that is the medal. And of course, this year their theme is Find Your Path to Fitness. And so you can see they have on the medal, here's a little runner that runs through this little maze. And anyway, so this is going to go with all my other virtual race medals on my medal rack. So very happy. I have earned another one. And yes, in case you are wondering, I am doing this again in 2023. So stay tuned for that. In new gear and equipment, this isn't necessarily new because I have tried a sample of this before, but I dove in and just got the full-size thing because I really kind of fell in love with it and it is working out for me. And this is the Sport Recovery Drink Mix by Scratch Labs. This is the horchata flavor, and I am loving it. This is so good after a long run, and it's nice. It's got this creamy taste. It's got just the right amount of cinnamon in it. It is absolutely wonderful. It's beautiful. It is so refreshing. This just really makes recovery drinks worth it. So if you are worried about it tasting too chalky or powdery, I have not had an issue with that at all. Scratch Labs has really knocked it out of the park with this one. Super enjoyable. So this one and Tailwind Salted Caramel Recovery, my top two favorites of all time. So definitely check those out for yourself. And finally, taking a look at what is coming up on the channel. As I mentioned, there are going to be some races coming up, and so I'm going to have some race reports on those, some more things about training. I am continuing to run the USA series because we're going to be taking a look at races in the state of Maryland. So if you know of any that you would like to suggest, make sure you drop those in the comments down below. I also have some more videos coming up, just kind of taking a look at doing some more trail running, as well as some videos about just my general training as I am moving into the half marathons. So make sure that you keep an eye out for those as well. Also, if there is anything that you would like to see me do a video on, make sure you drop that down in the comments below. I am always looking for new ideas, and I love hearing from what you guys would like to see. So make sure you let me know. And that wraps things up for the month of October. I hope you have had a great month. I have been super busy, but it's all been enjoyable. It's been definitely a kind of a balancing act trying to get everything done, but I think that I have managed to kind of stay on top of things, and I am really looking forward to the month of November. There's some great stuff that is coming up, and I hope you have some stuff to look forward to as well. Don't forget that every month I have a Spotify playlist that I will link to down below. This month it's going to be a Thanksgiving themed playlist, since that is what we are celebrating here in the US. And even if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, this is still a really fun and enjoyable playlist. I really think you'll like all the tracks that I have picked out for the month. So if you have a turkey trot or maybe just a nice training run coming up, there's something for you to listen to. I'm also going to have a link to the 2022 playlist, which is everything that I have put on a playlist so far this year. There's also going to be a link to the Welcome to the Geekdom playlist, which is all music suggested by all of you. If you have a track that you would like to add to the list, make sure that you drop that in the comments down below. All of that down below. Take a listen. I really think you'll enjoy it. Well, there you go. That wraps things up for the month. I am so glad that you guys have been here for another month with me, and I think we're going to have a great rest of the year. This is your second reminder. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing. You could also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thanks so much for being here. I am so glad you're here. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. See you later.